You are not gonna believe this. Something really amazing happened with the canine guides this week, and it blew me out of the water. And for a change, it involves me, not a client. Well, sort of. There is a client involved in the story, but this happened to me. So I got a call from someone I did not expect to hear from, who needed an appointment with the canine spirit guides. She said they pressed her to make it a priority. So we got her on the schedule, and she said, by the way, would you like to have a session with me as well? And she's a crystal healer. I said, sure. I didn't know what she did. I didn't know that I needed her services, but this is how the canine guides work. Apparently, there was some energetic trauma within my field and also within my body that needed to be addressed, and I didn't even know about it. So that was why she was prompted to schedule me, and it was fascinating how this all worked because the canine spirit guides were involved in her session working on me. They were there to make sure it was done correctly, not because she was incapable, but because the architecture of how they work with me is so unique that they didn't want it disturbed. And apparently, they are already working with me physically, energetically on a number of traumatic lesions that needed their assistance to heal. So that was all news to me, and I found it incredibly fascinating. Of course, the session was out of this world, amazing. And for something to be that amazing when I didn't even know I needed it, I mean, come on, that's a gift, right? What's even better is that about 4 nights ago, I had one of those dreams. I was traveling in the dream state, and I happened to realize that I was much further away than I've ever been before. And when I was in this dream state, I was very cognizant that there was a lot going on. And also I was cognizant that I had an escort. And this escort was one of the canine spirit guides that had just introduced themselves to me during the session that I did with her. This guide took me to a place apparently that I needed to go. And I can't remember any of it except that when I started to come back, my conscious mind was trying to grasp what it was able to remember. And it yelled out to her before we were completely disconnected. I heard my consciousness say, "Where was I?" And I remember her saying back, "You were in the ether universe." And at that moment, I felt this strong suction as I was suctioned down this tube and back to my body. Now, this whole tube transport is completely new to me. I have not experienced this before. So that indicates how far away I really was on this journey. I could remember the dream pretty well for about 10 minutes after I came back. And then as the clock ticked further and further away, it's like the memories dissolved. One by one, all of those memories of where I had been, what had happened, who else was there, why I had to go there, all of that just disintegrated. So that the further I got from the actual travel, the less I was able to remember. And so now all I can remember is what I shared with you. The next day, I was too busy to meditate. Very busy day, a lot to do. At the end of the day, I sat down for an interview, and right before I thought, oh, I need to ground in, I need to center myself, create my container. And when I tuned into my energy, it was crystalline. My energetic shield, my energetic body was literally crystalline. And I was like, whoa, what is this? This is a huge change. But I didn't have time to really think very much about it because I had to jump onto an interview. So I just kind of filed it for later reference, right? The next day, I have another session with this person that the canine guides hooked me up with. And one thing she said to me, because the canine guides are always present during our sessions, monitoring everything, making suggestions. I didn't know that they cared for me so much, but they're really watching out for me, and they were making sure that everything went sort of according to plan. One thing she said to me was, this is very interesting. They're having me use a crystal that does not exist on this earth plane. And at that moment, memories started flooding through without me really understanding what they were. And I realized that's why I had gone to the ether universe, was to retrieve this crystal, to bring it back to the planet. And because I needed it in this healing session. And when I said that, both she and I got confirmation from the canine guides. And also, while we were in that space, I said, by the way, my energy the other night felt crystalline. What's up with that? She was able to make sense of that for me. She says, it looks like you have new matrix architecture around you that's crystalline. It's a new upgrade that you've received. That blew me away, absolutely blew me away. This is the type of access we have here on Earth now, you guys. These canine spirit guides are magnificent. They keep bringing more and more frequency to the planet. Their goal is to help shift humanity into the next evolution, into that 5D consciousness, bringing our psychic skills and our energetic tools back to us. If you find this fascinating and you'd like to work with the canine spirit guides, you might be interested in my free workshop coming up. It's a 3-part series. Check it out in my bio. I hope you've enjoyed this story. I love you guys.